in the long-running franchise. More on that at the end of this video, but again, the latest issue of Weekly Famitsu magazine features an interview with Falcom president Toshihiro Kondo, who shares a few details about Ys 10 Nordics. Now, he goes over a lot of the information as far as the title of the game, the setting, the time frame, everything like that. It's also noted some elements of the story. It's a story of boys and girls. Since this is the first time we're releasing on Switch, the main characters are younger, and part of that was considering the user base. I find that rather interesting. Now, the game does take place after the events of Ys 1 and 2, and Adol is 17 years old throughout the context of the story. There are only 2 playable characters throughout the story. Adol, of course. I mean, if they ever pull Adol from an Ys title, I think that would be received very poorly, but nonetheless, he will be prevalent in the game. And the axe scroll, that being said, the action is dense, and there are all sorts of things you can do. There are towns, but your base will always be your ship. Solo mode offers the usual high-speed battles of the Ys series. Combination mode lets you pull off more powerful attacks, but the overall speed of battle is slower, so you can fight more carefully. The speed only changes on Adol's side. You can only switch to combination mode when holding down a certain button, and it switches back to solo mode when said button is released. And by the way, let me circle back. The comment about it being released on Switch, I believe it's because it's releasing day and date on this Switch as it is on PlayStation, because the Switch version of Ys 9 came out well after the initial release of the PlayStation 4 version. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Ys 9 is available on the Switch, and I believe some of the other Ys titles are as well. Don't quote me on that. Defense carries major weight. Guarding builds up your revenge gauge, which can increase your attack power. We've taken considerable care to adjust the difficulty level so that a wide range of users can enjoy the game. It really seems like they're taking accessibility into account, and I can kind of understand that, broadening the appeal of Ys, because while Ys has been super consistent, it kind of has comfortably been slotted in that tier that it's already in. Like, the people that play Ys really enjoy it, but I don't know if Ys, with the release of Ys 8, Ys 9, is expanding at a rate that they are happy with. Maybe they just want to expand it faster, and I feel like it has slowly been growing. Like, I feel like Ys 8 did take the franchise a little bit wider as far as over here in the West, but that's because Ys 7 came out all the way back in like 2010, 2011 on the PSP, so obviously that was gonna have a limited scope and a limited user base already, but Ys 8 being available on the PlayStation 4, I think did broaden that a little bit, but maybe they just want to broaden their horizons even more. They also noted there are special actions called mana actions. There's more freedom when performing mid-air actions. About 20% of the game is sailing your ship. There are maps dedicated to ship and naval battles occur when you encounter enemies. There's also growth, character development element to the ship as well. So development of the ship, and it seems like the ship is a major focus of the game. We'll release new footage either in the early new year or in the spring. Hopefully the release date will be around the same time as usual. We're quite aware of the challenge we're undertaking in the new field that is Switch. Production is currently underway with the intention of making a game that both series newcomers and fans can enjoy. The game will be out PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch in 2023 in Japan. Generally speaking, the Ys franchise has had a relatively quick turnaround recently as far as its North American release goes, in the sense that we're still waiting around, 16 months. So, I mean, like, 16 months to some of you guys sounds like a long time, but I remember back in the day, it was a daunting process getting some of these JRPGs over. Hopefully at some point, Ys is gonna have the turnaround at the level of a Final Fantasy or a Tales of, meaning day and date with the Japanese release, but at this point it seems like we're not quite there yet, but hopefully sooner rather than later that'll come to fruition. Alright, moving on from that, I'm sure that this is gonna get lost in the shuffle a little bit, but I do want to mention it. Valkyrie Profile Lenneth is out right now on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Now, this is a port from the PSP release of the title. If you bought the Valkyrie Elysium Digital Deluxe Edition, you get this game as a part of the Digital Deluxe Edition. The game notes, an intricate and evocative tale of fates woven by gods and mortals, steeped in Norse mythology, punctuated by groundbreaking combat and brought to life by a soundtrack considered among gaming's greatest. Behold the origin of the Valkyrie Profile franchise for yourself. This is a port from the PSP version of the game. New features are included such as a rewind function, quick save, and load visual presets, etc. have been added. Key features note intertwining tales that spin a captivating story amid the epic backdrop of Norse mythology, deep action-packed combat with exhilarating combos and satisfying special attacks, Motoi Sakuraba's timeless soundtrack, multiple endings based on your actions and choices. Mythos, there's a backdrop to the story as well. Long ago, the worlds were forged, Midgard the domain of mortals, and Asgard the realm of celestial beings, elves, giants, and gods. Amid the heavens, the sands of time flowed peacefully until one fateful day. What began as a simple feud would soon ignite a divine war that would come to rage across the lands of men, heralding the coming of the end of the world. So again, the game is available right now, PS4, PS5. If you buy the digital deluxe edition of Elysium, you'll get that as a part of the deluxe edition. I'm actually curious as far as one thing. I know Elysium's standard edition is on sale, but is the digital deluxe edition on sale? Yes, it is. It is $45, so that's actually pretty notable. If you do want Elysium and you do want Lenneth, Elysium's the standard edition is $30, Lenneth is going for $20, so you'll essentially save $5 by getting the digital deluxe edition. On top of that, you will get an in-game equipment add-on for Valkyrie Elysium's main game, so you know, maybe that's something you want to look at. $45 is kind of pricey. Elysium for $30 though, I think is already a decent deal given that game's relatively recent release, definitely had its issues, but not a bad pickup there. Lastly, I do want to note Disgaea 7 has rolled out quite a few new details for Disgaea 7, introducing Netherworld tourism, minigames, and even more classes for the game. Disgaea 7 is set in the Japanese-style Netherworld known as Hinamoto Netherworld Cluster. Wandering Samurai Fuji travel throughout the various locations of Hinamoto with the goal of overthrowing the Shogun. As you process throughout the story, you'll unlock the new system of Netherworld tourism, which allows you to go sightsee the renowned Hinamoto Netherworld Cluster. As a tourist attraction, you'll be able to have fun conversations with the people there. There's quite a few details that have dropped as far as minigames, the discussions to be had throughout the game. I mean, Disgaea is another one of those franchises that I think Disgaea, the niche it's carved out, it's going to be very, very hard to expand upon that just because the style of game Disgaea is going to target the people that enjoy that style of gameplay and, you know, that tactics-based strategy RPG style that is super grindy. And I think if you deviate too much from that, you're going to end up pushing away the people that brought you to the dance. Now, Disgaea 7, to be fair, has a bit of a visual lift to it, so that's cool to see, but again, I think you need to keep that core element of Disgaea intact, and I think they're going to continue doing that with Disgaea 7. So Disgaea 7 is due out for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch on January 26th of 2023. I would imagine that it would be sometime 23, maybe in the fall over here in the States, but that remains to be seen. But another JRPG to keep on your radar. But that is going to do it for me. Again, East 10 Nordics gets a slew of details rolled out detailing the story, some of the gameplay changes, how they're trying to make the game a little bit more accessible. Excited to hear more about that game. Valkyrie Profile Lenneth available now on PS4 and PS5, something to be on the lookout for. And Elysium's digital deluxe edition down to $45. It might be something you want to pick up that way. And Disgaea